Hey everybody, I just wanted to stop in for a really quick minute to talk about water. Do you know what's in the water that you're drinking? I was watching the news earlier tonight and they were talking about military families having been drinking some water that had some contaminants in it. And in past years we've heard about places in different um like in Detroit and other places where the water had been contaminated and was that way for quite a while, and how difficult it made it for people and the struggles and people getting sick and all that kind of stuff. You know, a lot of people are really into buying bottled water. More power to you if that's what you want to do, but we need so much water to drink every day. Um, and so for me, I'd like to find other options. But yes, you could still, get your bottled water if that's what you so desire to do. Let's see if you can see this a little bit better. This is my Berkey. I have the travel Berkey, which holds 1.5 gallons of water. It purifies the water, and it takes out all the nasty contaminants. 99.999% of all the icky stuff gets is pulled out of the water. So when you put your fresh water in the top, let it filter through, and it comes out of the bottom from the spigot, you're getting fresh water that's safe to drink. This is my number one go-to option now that I've had an opportunity to use it, and I'm really comfortable with it. That's what I drink every day. Because when I moved here where I live, in the city where I live, the water tasted like fish, which I thought was kind of odd. I just did. And my parents came to visit me here, and they tasted the water, and it was like, whoa. It was different from what we were used to. If you're used to a certain taste to your water, then you may want to continue on with that. But being that I moved here from another state and that flavor was kind of off putting to me, I just wanted pure, clean tasting water. And, all right, although I'm okay with paying for bottled water at times, I really like being able to make that one investment and then be able to continue to have good, clean, fresh water that's filtered. The Berkey has filters that are up in the top. These filters are good for over 3 years of service with this. And granted, it's just for me, it's 1.5 gallons. And they say that most adults should probably drink 1 gallon a day. So 1.5 gallons is, that's decent. That's a decent amount for me. Um, when I first started doing filtered water, I did the Brita, which I had the big pitcher that you screwed in the filter in that. But then I do still have the travel Brita that I can carry with me. That um, you put the water in. I can take this to work or wherever. Put the water in. It has like the little mini filter, so that's the as you go kind of a deal for that I could use for like work or wherever if I'm out in the community. Berkey is for me here at home. Yes, it is a significant investment, but then after you make that initial investment, you'll know how much it's worth it when you have fresh water all the time. You will find yourself really appreciating this and seeing what you were missing about having the fresh water. And so Brita does do some filtering out, but I don't know that it's to the capacity of Berkey, but the Berkey is kind of like a forerunner right now. Made in America, quality craftsmanship comes shipped to you. It's very easy to deal with. You can look it up on Amazon or you can go to the Berkey website. Just Google them online. It's easy to find. But I wanted to give you a third option. Like if you're a camper, someone that goes out and you do camping or whatever, and suppose you're out somewhere or you're just driving through the desert randomly, whatever, and or through the woods, let's say that, and you get real thirsty. Haha, there's an oasis over there. But how am I going to get that water? And even if I got the water, is it going to be really potable in my hands? This is going to be decent for me to drink. If you have the LifeStraw, it will be. The LifeStraw, which I've talked about the LifeStraw before, you kind of ingest and then I um, got one for myself. It has the sipping area on the top. You open up the bottom where the filter is up in there, and you open this and you take it down to the water and you suck the water through and it filters it as it comes through. And you can take the nastiest, murkiest, dirtiest, nastiest water, even for the Berkey, you can do this. And it will come out clean, clear, delicious. So good that the Life Straw even filters out E. coli. It even filters out beaver fever, which I don't know if you've heard of beaver fever. I hadn't heard of it myself until um, I purchased this product and I kept the packaging. It's called Giardia lamblia. That is beaver fever. I'm gonna have to look that up and see what all that entails. But it also filters out cryptosporidium, which we hear a lot about, and I've talked about in some of my little breaking news reports. And E. coli. Hello, we talk about E. coli all the time and how horrible it is for you. It will filter out E. coli and salmonella and all those icky things that you really don't want going on in your body. It has a nice lanyard type strap that you can put over your head, and wear it around your neck. So while you're walking, um, put it in your backpack or in your pocket or whatever. It's a nice deal and reasonably priced. Hello, I think I paid around $20 for this, and you might say, "Geez, $20 for that?" But you can filter 1,000 gallons of water with this. With this same filter that's in there right now, you can filter 1,000 gallons of water. And then you'd have to take that out and do the old switch up. Three over 3 years worth of filtering can happen with this if you're drinking your recommended daily amount of water each day, which per person should be a gallon. Because our body is mostly made up of water. We don't see the water when we're looking at each other, but that's what's happening on the inside. And that's what helps keep our bodies balanced so that we're able to do all that we need to do and that we're able to stay healthy. You can only live 3 days without water because you are mostly water. You can live 3 weeks without food, but you better have some water. There better be some liquids going on if you're wanting to survive for that amount of time. Here is the bonus. Now, I've talked about the Berkey, I've talked about the Brita, and I've talked about the LifeStraw. If you're into prepping and making sure that you have things for the event of an emergency or whatever, because we've seen all kinds of different emergencies in the past couple of years, let's face it. You do have an option of, if you're not feeling making a couple $100 investment, $200-300 investment for that, or if you're really not so sure about making a $20 investment for this because it's like you're sucking through the straw. Um, and Brita comes in lots of different forms, and they come in a pitcher, they come in the water bottle, they have upgraded water bottle form. I mean, there's different options that you can do, but there's also at your hardware stores, neighborhood hardware stores, or Home Depot and Lowe's and Menards, places like that, they usually have a camping section. In the camping section, you can find little bottles sealed in plastic and hanging on the piece of cardboard, hanging against the wall for making potable water, meaning drinkable water, if you're out camping. So if stuff hits the fan, you're not able to get any decent water out of your sink or whatever, you do have an option if you have those potable water tablets. You have to follow the directions carefully and just use one tablet per that certain amount of water as it says on the packaging, and you have to let it set for the amount of time so that it can have time to kill any kind of bacteria or anything that might be in the water, so that when you drink it, you're drinking good, healthy, clean water. I'm not going to talk about bleach and all that kind of stuff and at this time, but I want to talk about these options, which are very safe and very easy to do. And a bonus, if you buy the LifeStraw, a portion for every LifeStraw product sold, a child in need will be provided with safe drinking water for an entire school year. Now we know that there's some other countries that are not in the region where I am, where clean drinking water is hard to come by. They need something like this. Um, and it'd be great if they could all have the LifeStraw. If they're not able to have the LifeStraw, it's good to know that LifeStraw, the company, is dedicated to making sure that children have clean drinking water for the entire school year. Filters 1,000 gallons. 1,000 gallons with this personal LifeStraw. Well, snowstorm is on its way to where I am right now. The weatherman said to be prepared. Of course, I'm prepared. I got my snow pants. I got my big coat, scarf, multiple hats, so I have plenty of hats to choose from. And if you've got skills with knitting and sewing and all of that, this is the time to do that kind of stuff. Not only to make hats and things for yourself, maybe you have family members that need hats or scarves or mittens or gloves. Maybe there's people in your community that are struggling for housing right now. They would need hats and scarves and mittens and gloves. It's good to think beyond our own personal needs sometime and see how can we help someone else. So if you've got your stuff all together and everything is wonderful and fantastic. Carry an empty backpack with you sometime. And as you walk, you might find that there's someone sleeping in a bus shelter. I've seen it. So there's a possibility that you might see that yourself too. Someone with nothing but a sweater or a coat or the only belongings they have or what they're able to carry in a shopping bag or a backpack. Sometimes it's nice just to be able to put down a hat and some gloves, a small blanket, scarf, or something. Something to help people stay warm when it's cold. I'm not asking you to change the world. Nobody's asking you to change the world. But the little steps that we make every day, the little actions that we do, they do help change the world in a positive way. But always be careful in approaching people that you don't know or whatever. But sometimes people just have a really sincere need. And what's it going to hurt to have an extra pair of gloves? I used to see people standing out by the highway, um, hands cold and red and um, getting frostbite, and they're standing there with their little thin jacket on, um, hoping that maybe someone might help them so that they could get a sandwich or something. And sometimes they're not even asking for anything; they're just standing there trying to figure out where they're going to go, how are they going to be warm, where's a safe place for them. Well, if you dress in layers and you have a pair of gloves on, and then you put a pair of mittens over top of the gloves, then if you see someone cold or in need, you can always pull off that outer pair. I used to do that a lot. I'd wear multiple pairs. I would wear like gas station gloves, the brown ones that are like for mechanics or whatever. I would get those and I'd wear multiple layers of it. And then if I'm walking along and I see someone and their hands are severely chapped and frostbitten and cold, I would take off the outer layer and give it to them so they could immediately put those gloves on their hands and it would help them to have their hands a little bit warmer. And I'm not at a loss because my hands are still covered, but I just helped someone else whose hands were cold and raw and frostbitten. And I know I said I was just going to be on for a minute. Here I go again, rambling and talking about all this stuff. Those are just some things that can be done. And I understand that it's not always safe to approach people or do those kind of things. But, you make your best judgment call and know when to help someone and when to just, back off. Um, but helping people is good when you're able to. And if you feel safe and you're in a safe place, it's good to be able to find ways to be supportive and helpful to people without endangering yourself. Something to think about. Okay, I need to get going. I want to make some hot cocoa for myself and pick out some really warm stuff to wear tomorrow because it's supposed to be light snow in the morning and continuing to snow through Saturday. So that will give me a couple of days of snow. And with all the virus stuff going on and more people being hospital hospitalized for various forms of the virus that we've had in the past couple of years. It's just good to be prepared. So stay aware, stay prepared, and remember to treat yourself good. Don't cheat yourself. And if you have an opportunity to do good to help someone else, try to do that. And stay warm, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon.